paved the way, history that has now led us up to the Messiah. This video is the first of 3 videos to complete this 9-part series. And we're going to focus on who were these Herods. It's hard to keep it straight, perhaps. And as we mentioned in the previous video, Herod the Great died in 4 BC. But Herod is a family name. It's kind of like Caesar. It's not the specific name of a ruler, and also like the Pharaoh. The Pharaoh was a title, not a name. Herod, it's a title, and that's what we want to focus on. But let's talk about the first Herod. Herod the Great, he ruled from 37 BC to 4 BC. He's the guy in the Christmas story. Super powerful client king, answerable to Rome. And he tried to trick the wise men into giving the information that led him to the baby that was born, who was to be the Messiah. But he not only had babies put to death, he had his own sons and his wives put to death. He's not a cuddly person, and that's not somebody that you would want to invite to be your friend, especially not Herod the Great, because he was probably the greatest of the tyrants. Herod has one of 3 sons here called Herod Archelaus, who ruled after the death of his father. He took this rule from 4 BC to 6 AD, rather short time, and this Herod is mentioned in Matthew chapter 2. And Joseph brought his family back from Egypt, and when he found that Herod the Great had died and Herod Archelaus was now ruling, he was still an evil Herod, and he decided he did not want to return to Bethlehem, but he instead went to Nazareth. Herod Archelaus was evil, but he was also incompetent. And the Jews had had enough of him, and they went to Rome privately, and they tattled on him. He's doing a lousy job. And Herod Archelaus was called to Rome and relieved of his duty. And he was one of the Herod's 3 sons, and he received 1/2 of his father's territory, the area surrounding and near Jerusalem, Judea and Samaria. And Joseph, though, was wise in not putting the baby Jesus or the young child Jesus now under the control of this Herod either. And he, like his father, Herod the Great, he wasn't known to be very cuddly. He got replaced, though, by a Roman procurator less than 10 years into his reign. And that's why Pontius Pilate is the man in charge when Jesus' crucifixion happened. It's because they ousted the Herods from ruling in the area around Jerusalem. No one directly succeeded Archelaus, but when he was removed from power, Rome established direct rule over Judea, and they appointed a series of Roman prefects to govern the territory. Archelaus' brothers' rule, prior to Archelaus' ouster, his brothers were established in their own regions too, though, and that's why if you take a look at this map, it shows where these Herods were simultaneously ruling at the time of Archelaus. Herod Antipas ruled as Tetrarch of Galilee and Perea, and Philip ruled as Tetrarch of the northeast region, Galantius, and the cities of Tannius and Caesarea Philippi. We'll talk more about that in a moment. Another son of Herod the Great was Herod Antipas, and he ruled the northern region at the same time his brother was in Judea. He ruled from 4 BC to 39 AD. And he is known for building the city of Tiberias in honor of Emperor Tiberius. This Herod shows up as the one who had John the Baptist beheaded. He also is the Herod at the trial of Jesus, mentioned in the book of Luke. Jesus called him the fox in Luke 13, verse 32. And he received a quarter of his father's territory, Galilee and Perea, and he divorced his first wife and married Herodias, the wife of his brother, another Herod that we won't even talk about because he's not mentioned in the Bible. He killed John the Baptist, and Pontius Pilate sent Jesus to this Herod as a part of the trial process that Jesus went through. Did you know that Pilate and Herod Antipas became friends that day? Luke 23, verse 12. Herod Philip the Tetrarch, known as Philip, ruled from 4 BC to 34 AD. And he got the remaining quarter of his father's territory, north and east of Galilee, mostly ruled over by Syrians and Greeks. Only he ruled over the Syrians and Greek. Take a look at the map and you'll see where he is. Now, this Herod married his niece, Salome, the daughter of Herodias, and she was the one who danced for John the Baptist's head. Herod Antipas' wife of sin, was her mother. A third Herod, Herod Agrippa, who appears in Acts chapter 12, he ruled from 37 to 44 AD. This is the grandson of Herod the Great. He puts James to death. He is the one who imprisoned Peter, and Peter miraculously escaped, obviously. Herod Agrippa was the grandson of Herod the Great and the nephew of Herodias, Herod Antipas' wife. Eventually, he ended up ruling over even more territory than did his grandfather. He is known as the one who put Peter in prison, and he did not give God the glory when referred to as a god by the people of Tyre and Sidon. And this was why the angels struck him and he was eaten by worms. Acts 12, verse 20 and verse 23. Yes, I know, too much information, eaten by worms. Finally, we have Herod Agrippa II, who is the great-grandson of Herod the Great. He began ruling in 50 AD. Paul appears before him in Acts 26. Now, like his father, Herod Agrippa I, and his great-grandfather, Herod the Great, he ruled over a large territory, and he is the one who interviewed Paul along with the Roman procurator, Porcius Festus, when Paul was imprisoned in Caesarea in Palestine, after Paul's third missionary journey, Acts 25 and 26. Agrippa exclaimed to Paul, literal translation, "In a short time you will persuade me to become a Christian," Acts 26:28. Or was his statement ironic? Either way, Paul ended up appealing directly to Caesar, and so no more contact was with this powerful Herod. After this last Herod, we don't hear any more from any of the dynasties of the Herods. There's a couple more Herods, but we're going to be the ones that are mentioned in the New Testament. Here is a brief summary to help you remember these Herods. Herod the Great, Christmas story. Herod Archelaus, Joseph to Nazareth because of Bethlehem, because of him. Herod Antipas killed John the Baptist. Herod Philip ruled the area north and east of Galilee. Herod Agrippa I, eaten by worms. Herod Agrippa II, a trial of Paul by Caesarea. I hope this helped you keep the Herods straight.